Welcome back to another rocking episode of Global Leaders. My name is Rajiv Mothie, and today I have with me a man that needs no introduction. He has started the journey in the humble town, country, whatever you want to call it, New Zealand, the place where I think lots of people would love to go. So we're very honored to have with us the incredible Mr. Chris Perry. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Thank you, Rajiv. Yes. Thanks for asking.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for making time out of your busy schedule to share some of your life experiences, some of your golden nuggets with all of our lovely people out here. As I was telling you before this interview, Global Leaders is all about helping people step out of their comfort zone, live the life that they are meant to be living, and who better to learn from than from global leaders, people who have shared similar journeys and are now ready to share their knowledge and give back to people.
Sure. It's been an incredible journey. Here we are sitting in Durban, South Africa, and, back in 1970 when I joined the military as an apprentice mechanic, in New Zealand. The furthest thing from my mind was sitting here with you, someone like yourself who is inspiring and entertaining many people around the world. I just never thought that this would ever happen.
So we're going to get straight into it. Let's start with segment number one. Who am I? Let's talk about that incredible person. I know you've done so much of successful stuff, as you mentioned, but who is Chris Perry? Tell us more about yourself.
Yes, well, I come from a small farming background in New Zealand. Our family owned a farm. My father was a Second World War veteran. My mother was part Maori, which is our indigenous race in New Zealand. My father was a Scotsman.
Oh wow!
Right, so we had a
very diverse blend.
Yes, in New Zealand they say a Scotsman likes to drink. A Maori person likes to drink, and the Scotsman doesn't like paying for the drink. Right, so we have a bit of that sort of fun with each other. But we grew up on the farm, and I couldn't think of a better way to start off life than being on a farm where you learn how to respect the land, you learn how to respect people in your small communities, you learn how to respect animals, and you work with animals, and you learn how to foster animals to grow to be mature sheep and things like that. New Zealand got lots of sheep. We got about 60 million sheep over there, right? So the early days were wonderful days, and we learned how to share sheep and how to do lots of things that you do on a farm, and it was a very natural way of living it. And you mixed with your family a lot. You had a lot of family time because TVs were only black and white in those days, right? And then I went to college, of course, like we all do, and I never really knew what I was going to do, to be quite honest. Because all my brothers had gone before me, 9 in our family, and 5 or 6 of those brothers had gone before me, and my father said to me, he said, "Chris, what are you going to do?" I said, "Well, I don't really know." He said, "Well, why don't you go in the military and get yourself a trade, and you can always, if nothing else works, you can always go back to your trade and be a mechanic." So I joined the army, and I spent 13, 14 years in there. But then I got to about 12 or 13 years, and I saw all the old mechanics, and they're still dressed in dirty overalls, and if you got out of the military, then you either got a job as a security guard in a museum or something like that. So I thought, well, this isn't me, right? I'm not going to end up as a security guard. So I went back to school, did a few business courses there, and then I came across New Image. Because I got married, and like all married couples, you don't have a lot of money to start off with. You're struggling to buy a house, you're struggling to buy a nice car, and all those things that families do, right? So, and the struggle for us was, I thought, well, if I could give my eldest son the best education, and I guess we all know how important education is. And I said to myself, and my wife then, my ex-wife now, Laura, she lives in Australia now, she's remarried, which is great. We're still good friends, right? And that's wonderful that we can be like that. So I said to her, well, I'd like to send Andre's his name, to the best private school in New Zealand. We never had the money. It was about $9,500 New Zealand dollars a month there. get them into that private school. And fortunately, New Image came along, and I saw that as a way where I could generate the money to send them to the school, because we never had the money to send them.
The timing was perfect.
Yes, the timing was perfect. And so in my first year, I made about 120, I think it was about 185,000 rands in one month. And I thought, well, gosh.
It's better than a mechanic.
Yeah, it was better than a mechanic. That's right, about 10 times better than a mechanic, right? So I thought, well, I can remember when I had my check from my full-time work as the industrial relations manager for Dunlop Tires in New Zealand, and that check was said 3,000 for the month, and this other check said I think about 16 to 18,000 for the month. I went into my boss's office, the general manager, and I said to him, I said, listen, boss, I can't afford to work for you anymore. And he said, what do you mean you can't afford to work for anymore? I said, here's your check, full-time employment, it says 3,000. Here's this other check, and it said 16 or 18,000. He said, well, how do you get that? And I said, well, it's my part-time business. And I said, I think I've got to go full-time in this one now and cut this other one out, right?
That's probably a very powerful moment in your life.
It was. I actually resigned I said, listen, I'll give you a month's notice, but I got to get out of here.
So you resigned, you literally fired your boss.
Yeah, I fired the boss, yeah. He was a good guy, right? I really liked the guy, and I still I email him from time to time, and we have a joke about it, right? But that was the start of my sort of the global thinking. But up till then, I was sort of locked in sort of, the small paradigm that a lot of people have, working a normal job, having a normal life, having normal things. And I thought, and when I saw this New Image and I could afford to pay for my son, I thought, well, hang on, and then other things that I might like to do as well, like traveling, like making sure that you've got financial security. A lot of people talk about financial security these days, don't they? So that started to get me on the journey. So my ex-wife and I, Laura, we started investing in property. We had 13 houses at one stage in New Zealand.
Wow.
And but when we had to go our separate ways, we had to divvy all those things up as you normally have to do those sort of things. But so we slipped back, and that's a bit like life, isn't it? You make a bit of progress, and all of a sudden some sort of something happens in your life, and you have to take a little bit of a setback. But what I've learned in life is that it's not the setbacks. You learn more from your setbacks and your disappointments in life than your actually successes. So, and because you never forget them, is that true? You never forget those challenges, right? Because you have to learn how to either get over top of them, how to go around them, or how to get underneath them, right?
Wow.
And there's some way that you've got to do it. And my best mentor I think I've had in my whole life, apart from lots of Tony Robbins and all those sort of people, is the chairman of our New Image company. And we both come from the same town, a small town in New Zealand called Masterton, right? So, and I've watched him over the years. He became the world champion shearer. Then he became a very big entrepreneur, brought all the jet boat motors into New Zealand. And then he started New Image, and now he's got a company that operates in 22, 23 countries around the world.
Incredible.
So, and it produces about 10 million rands worth of business every day now. So from humble beginnings, I watched his journey because we knew each other. He knew in my family, and I've watched him all those years. And I've seen him come across lots of tests in his life, lots of challenges in his life, and I've seen him get through them, and I've seen him get to the other side and prosper. And I think that's such an inspirational journey. And that's why I'm with New Image right now. Not so much, the money's good and all those sort of things, but as you go through life, like the chairman, money becomes a secondary thing. It's a primary thing, you've got your family, you've got food on the table and educate them and all things like that. But when you get to a certain level, money becomes the secondary factor. The primary factor which takes over then is seeing other people prosper and develop. Right, and that's our journey with New Image. And the chairman said to me the other day, just a couple of days ago, he said, Chris, I'm so passionate about this business. He said, I just love seeing people succeed in it, get healthy, get the funds to do things which I never thought possible before. And I'm much the same now. And that's why I just love people getting extra bonuses, getting healthy for a start, right? Because there's so much unhealthy lifestyles in the world right now. So many people relying on pharmaceutical products, and with the COVID-19 here, it's just amplified that we need to have stronger stronger immune systems and be healthier, and share that stuff, share those messages with our family and friends. And I do it every day on the golf course when I'm there. Bernice tells me I shouldn't be on the golf course as much as I should be, but I love being on there because you see people who've got all the health issues, right? And I love to help them see a better way to live their life. And Pam, my partner now, she's from New Zealand as well, and she's educated me a lot on how to fine tune my health and how to live a healthier life, because we both want to live a long, healthy life and live the last 10 years healthy rather than sick like a lot of people, right? Having to take all those pharmaceutical products, being sick in a hospital, not being able to enjoy life. And that really impacts me. It impacts the chairman, it impacts my partner Pam, and we like to be sort of role models now for other people, and the money becomes secondary, although when we float our company next year, it will be recognition and reward for all the hard work that we've done in building the company, and with the company's only as good as our people in it.
That's right.
You know, the more we develop our people, the stronger we make them, the more healthy we make them, the more they talk about their health, the more wealth we create for them, the more their lives become more enjoyable and their lifestyle changes. And I've travelled, Pam and I've travelled to all the countries that we're currently operating in, and we've seen some fantastic journeys from a cleaner becoming a multi-millionaire in Taiwan, from a guy selling ice creams off his motorbike, earning $158,000 US.
These are the things that we want to hear.
Yeah, it inspires people about the income, but the most important message is they're healthy now, and when you're healthy, you can enjoy your wealth, isn't it? It's so disappointing when I see a lot of people on the golf course who have retired now, and they've got some funds to retire on, but they're unhealthy and they're always complaining about all the health issues they've got. I don't want to be like that. And when I get on the golf course and I tell everyone I'm 67 years of age, they say, "What? You can't be 67 years
well,
of
you
age,
definitely
right?"
don't look 67 years
Yes, well, but I don't use that as showing off, right, and building up, trumpeting myself. I use that to
As
try and
motivation.
inspire people,
Yeah,
right? So,
100%.
well, if on the outside I'm 67, on the inside and here, my immune system tells me I'm only 54, well, gosh, I'm going to live a lot longer than most people on the planet here. So it's really a passion now of the chairman's and mine, and we just love what we do and we enjoy what we do, and we've learned that the more you do what you're passionate about, the more you attract into your life of the good things that influence your life in a different journey to take you up to different levels in life, the more that you're coming in contact with people who can help you do that.
Wow.
And you're one of them, Rajiv. Watching you on stage performing and inspiring people and getting the audience fired up, right? That's another way of motivating and inspiring people, right? By what you do, and you've taught us a lot about how to use all the technology and help us to build our company here when we're experiencing COVID-19. So it's been a great thing, and Fiona, your partner as well, right? Helping us doing all it makes the whole our life much easier, less stressful, and we're able to influence more people around the world. So the more influence you have, the more you can help people, the more you can inspire people, motivate people, and we're just so passionate about that.
So, you see, I literally just kept quiet, kept nodding, because I always learned, and my mentor always shared this with me, and he says, when a leader is speaking and someone who has achieved so much of success, and you've shared that with our viewers right here, be quiet, listen, take notes, and make sure you can take some of those golden nuggets and apply it to your life. Now, one of the things I want to share with you people watching this is here's a man who has been through a real life story. He hasn't been brought up with a silver spoon in his mouth, having the inheritance and making sure that it was all set. He went out there. He made it happen. He took different journeys in his life. He took different parts in his life, from a mechanic to a network marketer, and now to a regional director who's empowering people around the planet. Now, what I want to make this interesting, because global leaders it has so much of value for the people out there, and we want to add a little bit of a spice to it. We always add that spontaneousness. Now, he did speak about an incredible product, that's changing the world right now, that's helping people live a better life. Because I love it when you mention, it's not just about money, it's about having the health to back that up. Because a lot of people think money is the number one thing, but I think without the right health, how do you utilize the money you make? So I think let's make it a little bit interesting. If you are keen with it, and for
Sure,
our viewers,
100%.
maybe we can give a small little prize to the person who shares this video the most.
Sure, 100%,
Who
yeah.
shares this video, because we want to share this message. Global Leaders is all about helping people come out of their comfort zones, know that there's more out of life that they can receive. So, is that something that maybe we can make happen?
Of course, yes. Of course, Rajiv. So, one of my mentors said to me, he said, "What is money?" He asked me many years ago, he said, what's money? And we come up with all these sort of logical types of answers. Well, it's coins, it's bits of paper, it's notes, and it's something you spend to buy something. But my mentor gave me the best definition of money that I've ever heard.
Yeah, please share that with us.
And he said, money is the measuring stick of the quantity and quality of service that you render to others.
Wow.
The quantity and quality of service that you render to others. The better quality, the better quantity of service that you render to others, the more this flows to you, right? So that's the best definition of money that I've ever heard, right? So I'm so excited about our journey with UMH, because we have got a game-changing product. It's a product which is made by Mother Nature, not made by a scientist in a laboratory.
Yeah.
There's so many good products out there that it's hard to sort of define what is good and what's average and what's better than average. But what is iconic? What's an iconic product out there? And every mother watching this video tonight knows what colostrum is. It's the first milk that they give their babies, right? So, and they know how important that milk is to that newborn baby. And it like all of us, we're sitting here, we've all had it. It kickstarts life. It's the first thing and first food that we all get in our life, and it's the most important food that we'll ever have in our whole life. Colostrum. That's what it's called, and New Zealand is a perfect climate for the cows. We take it from cows in New Zealand because cows have got the closest sort of DNA, I guess, to a human being, or the closest sort of milk or colostrum to a human being, right? So, and it's 40 times more potent than human colostrum. So, a human mother, it's 40 times potent than a human mother's colostrum. So
you're gonna get a chance to get a bottle of those colostrum tablets.
Sure.
If you share this video you're watching right now, it's as simple as that. Just share it with your people, and I'll say, with love from our main global leader for the week, Mr. Chris Perry, you're gonna be getting that bottle of colostrum. We'll announce it on the Big M page. So, Mr. Perry, let's get into our final segment. This is our Golden Nugget segment, where I know you've already given so many golden nuggets to our people. But I'll say right now, during COVID-19, people are facing so many challenges. People are losing jobs. Retrenchment rates are at its peak. Companies are closing down. What sort of message would you like to give to our future leaders out there, our young entrepreneurs, our people in general, who are suffering during this global pandemic? Over to you, sir.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Rajiv, for the opportunity. Yes. Business is changing, isn't it, in the world? So it's going more online. People are, I watched something on Facebook the other night. So people, the trend towards online. Now, our chairman talked about that 20 years ago. He said there will come a time when people are on their computers buying everything online. And I thought, what a crazy idea. But here we are today, COVID-19, we're being forced to go online. And even though we sort of didn't enjoy the initial sort of having to make the transition, But now we've made the transition, thanks to you. We are able to operate online, and that's the way business is going in the future. So we have to change. We have to shift the paradigm to ways where we can operate in this new world, right? So, and it's great because with our company, we do these sessions all around the world now. So, in every country that we operate in, Pam and I've been to them all, and I've noticed that people are pretty much the same wherever you go in the world.
Right.
When you bring it down to the common denominators, people are pretty much the same everywhere you go in the world. They may look different. They may have different facial sort of features. They may talk different. Their skin might be different colour, but they might have different religious beliefs and things like that. But the interesting thing is that we've found that people want and aspire to have similar things. They want to have a healthy life. They want to raise a good family. They want to have a nice home. They want to have a nice car. They want to be able to travel. Well, and they'd like to be able to develop as a person to be something that they never thought they could be. And one of my good friends in New Zealand is one of my inspirational mentors as well. He doesn't know this, but I put him forward to
He's going to know this after this video.
Yeah. I put him forward to a big award in New Zealand, right? Because his name is Ron Mark. We both started as mechanics in the army, and to be quite honest, when you're starting off in the army, you're a bit of a rat bag, right? You get up to all the mischievous things that you shouldn't do, but his journey through life is just another amazing story, and maybe one day you can get him on as one of your leaders there, right? And he can tell the story himself. But he was born, and his parents, his parents didn't want him. So they said, well, no, we're going to put you in a foster home. So they put him in a foster home. And those foster parents didn't want him. I don't know why. He really hasn't told me the in-depth story. But then he got fostered out twice to different parents. And then he joined the army. But when you've been through a little parents not wanting you and all those sort of things, I'm sure you'd have a bit of a depressed attitude, right? But that same guy, I've learnt that life. You can change the future. You can't change what's happened already, but you can make a big change in the future. Yeah. And he's a classic, right? He went from being a mechanic like me to being an officer in the army to serving in the Special Air Services and overseas, getting awarded one of the top military honours in the world, and then ending up as the Minister of Defence in New Zealand, in the Cabinet in New Zealand.
Can't change the beginning, but you can change the end.
He's certainly changing that. And that's one of the gold nuggets is forget about the past, it's gone, right? Don't let it be a handbrake on the future, right? Have a positive attitude all the time. Someone asks me all the time, every day they ask me, how are you today, Chris? I get a phone call, and I say, I'm terrific.
I can vouch for that. I can actually vouch for that. Whenever you call this gentleman, that's what he says, and I think that's so inspiring.
Yes, I used to say things like normal people, I'm okay. But when you say terrific, you get a bit of a silence on the end of the phone, right? How come you're so terrific? I'm suffering here, right?
And we all should be too.
Yes, that's right. When we think about life, here we are sitting here in a nice room like this in Morningside. And where are we today?
Morningside.
And we're sitting here, we're having a good conversation, right? And we should be so grateful to be able to do that, right? And that's what I've learned. Learned from my partner Pam and myself and all my mentors like our chairman. I've learned to wake up every day and have a grateful attitude for what we've got, right? And another good mentor of mine, he was from America. He was born with one leg. He was born with 2 fingers on one hand and 1 finger on the other. And he was a professional tennis player. And I like playing tennis. And I thought, well, how does he hold a racket for a start, right? How does he run around the court with one leg? And how does he play against guys like Jimmy Connors and things like that, right? I thought, how do people do that? So those people over that journey of their life have inspired me, and that's why I say you've got to be around people that lift you up and put the wind under your wings so that you can see, not just see down here. So many people looking down here all the time for the loose change, or because their attitude is depressed, they're looking down. You've got to find a way to and be inspired to look up.
Wow.
and look at the sunrise every day, right? And when the sun goes down, Pam taught me there's beautiful sunrises, right? I used to be so busy in my mental sort of thing, I never used to look at the sunrise and the sunsets, right? But Pam's taught me a lot about that. And when you see just how beautiful the world is, you can sort of not let all the stuff sort of bog you down. And I think the gold nuggets are is one, understanding what money is. Knowing what money is, and it's the quality and quantity of service that you render to others. People think it's getting fast money. People think it's selling deals, which only one person wins out of the deal, right? So, and the other gold nuggets are only two things: is the books you read and the people you mix with.
Wow.
Right, so there's lots of those sort of things, and being here tonight, I'm just so grateful being here, that telling the story, because hopefully someone's sitting out there just like me and saying, I'm a mechanic, I don't know where the heck I'm going, right? And you can join our company and catch up. And we've got a young CEO program we're launching very shortly. It's targeted at all these 31% of graduates that can't get employment in South Africa right now. I just got a CV sent through me today. A young guy that works he's graduated with a business degree. He's working stocking shelves in the pharmacy in Umslanga here. You look at his CV and you think, gosh, I wish I had a CV like that, right? But he's a type of person that we want on our young CEO program, because that young CEO program, we're gonna groom, work with them, with Anish and the team, our international team online. They'll be able to get on international conferences, learn from the chairman they've been talking about, learn from our international trainers, learn from our marketing people around the world, and they'll be able to work for the next 6.5 months, and they could possibly qualify as one of our Ruby executives. Now, Ruby executive, as a part-time business, they should be earning anywhere between sort of 15 to 20, 35,000 a month this is a part-time business. You look at South Africa here, that's getting to be a full-time occupation for a lot of people, right? So we're going to train, we're going to work on for the 6 to 12 months, and we're going to bring them through. And if they can qualify as a Ruby in the next 6.5 months, they could be invited into the chairman's Rising Star program, and he's offering the top 100 people in the world $100 million worth of our shares.
It's incredible. Wow.
His shares. His money. He's offering them
100 million worth of
but he's
shares.
also putting some money aside for these rising stars. So but it doesn't. You don't have to be a graduate. You can join our business. Anyone can join our business. Just that we know that these graduates have got all the online skills. They've already got those because they've learnt them at uni, right? And they've got some business skills as well. So we want to fast track them through. They're the next tier in our business. They're the next leaders in our business.
It's a beautiful program,
right? And we're going to groom these people in KZN here. We're going to groom them in Gauteng there, and Western Cape there, anywhere in South Africa. We're only starting off with one group of 25, but we're going to expand that. And we just want to lift so many of these people up and give them a lifestyle that they really deserve, but they've got to work for it, because work, in my opinion, WORK, stands for Wealth's Only Real Key. WORK, work. Without work, you can't get the income flowing towards you, right? So I've learned that off my chairman as well. He's the hardest worker I know. Even at 82 years of age, he's just so passionate. He's not working just because he has to work. He's working because he just wants to help so many people be healthier and wealthier and live a good lifestyle in life. And that's the same with me, and I'm sure it's the same with you. And I'm sure it's the same for everyone watching this video here tonight.
Well, there you heard it from the man himself. I mean, that was so much of power packed in one session, where they got to know who you are. They got to, and I think what was so great about the interview is you've also spoke about some of the work that you're currently doing with the Young Entrepreneur Program. And if you're a young entrepreneur and you would like to get your CV looked at, just pop us an inbox on the Big End Production page. We will link you up with new image with the incredible Mr. Chris Perry and the entire team, which is making a significant impact in South Africa, and not just South Africa, but 22 other countries. So there's a lot of vibe going on right now.
Sure.
Any last words?
Yeah, if you want to travel, right, when we can travel, of course, we've got Ireland opening up, the UK, our top people from Durban here.
There you
Pat and
go.
Jay Naidu, who are our top diamonds here in South Africa, very first diamonds in South Africa. They're opening up the London, the UK right now. They're in London as we're sitting here now. And then my son, who I educated in that private school all those years ago, he spent 3 years in Monaco. Everyone wants to go to Monaco, right? But not everyone can afford to go there and live there for 3 years. Now he's in Ireland, opening up our company there. And then we skip across from the UK and Ireland. We jump across to the EU there. All those nice countries I see on your wall here, pictures of the Eiffel Tower and Venice and places like that. We just love those places. And I'll tell you what, we've been to the Philippines and we've taken groups of people to Taiwan, to Vietnam and all places like that. And they've been to New Zealand to look at Hobbit Town.
So a real global leader. A real global leader, doing the globe and taking people with you.
But we want to take South Africans over to those places. We want to take 30, 40, 50, 100 South Africans.
Why not?
And have to go for dinner at the Eiffel Tower. Just watch
well, that's what this is about. That's what it's about, casting a vision. Global Leaders is about empowering you. So in this interview, you get quite a bit. You can win yourself an incredible product worth, I think, well over $800. And all you have to do is just click the share button, share it with your friends, and help your friends and family receive massive value from a man who's, I think, had such an incredible journey and sharing it with the world right now.
Sure. You know, New Zealanders are pretty humble people, right? We don't like to talk a lot about ourselves.
Also a great golfer as well, eh?
Oh, yes. Well, I'm okay, right? But I want to go from a 6 or a 7 down to a 0, right?
Oh, wow.
I'm trying hard to make that happen, but you know, we're pretty humble in New Zealand, so we don't like to talk about ourselves. We'd rather talk about other people, and that's what our business is about: inspiring and recognising other people to be successful. And I hope tonight that some of the nuggets that you've heard tonight help to inspire you, because I got them off other people, right? They're other people's golden nuggets, not mine. I've just learned how to use them for my own career, and I'm imparting them to help other people now to grow and prosper and have a lifestyle beyond their wildest dreams.
Thank you so much. To everybody who's watched this, from myself, Rajiv Mothie, I just want to say thank you very much for your time. Thank you to Mr. Chris Perry. You've shared some incredible golden nuggets. I've just got one thing left to say. You guys have just been motivated.